Paranormal Sideshow. I'm your host, John Edwards, and joined as always by my lovely wife, Stacey.
Hello.
And we came back from Music City.
We did, thankfully.
It's a good thing, right?
Yes, it is.
I didn't know if we were going to, though. There was some craziness down there. There's craziness everywhere we go.
There is. It follows us around.
We've had discussions about this. Is it chicken or the egg, right? Is it us that causes the crazy, or does the crazy follow us, or we just drive into the crazy?
We just happen to go where the crazy is.
Is there always crazy, and we just notice it?
Ooh. That could be it.
That might be it. That kind of plays in to some other stuff I was working on for a little gimmicky deal that I was working on, and I will get to that in a second. But I would be remiss. It's a little bit different than being miss. Because when you're just miss, you're just like, I feel really miss about something. I don't know what it is. And you never remember it. See, that's the difference.
Right.
That's the re. I'm going to learn you guys something. The re is remember what you missed. It's really not.
I don't even know where you came up with that.
Not at all. It's cool though, isn't it?
I mean, it sounds
plausible.
Right? Yeah, because you just said it with such confidence, so.
Well, that's like how I got you in the sack. I mean, like that sack that we play sacky games in.
Right, right.
Anyway, hello to everybody on Paranormal Television. How you guys doing? It's nice to see you because we can see you. That's how this works. The brand of TV you're currently watching us on, it works both ways. And if it happens to be a laptop you're watching us on, it works that way too. We've got to deal with YouTube where they let us watch. It's really strange. We could see all of you right now. It's sort of a Batman thing. Our butler didn't like it, but he's going to let it pass this time. So anyway, how you guys doing? Hello to all our patrons out there. Gonna say, if you love the show, great way to support us is to support us. And you need to do that with this. Patreon.com/Paranormal Sideshow. Wherever that popped up right then, that's a good thing.
I'm sure it'll pop up right where your finger's pointed.
Oh, well, that would
You're
be right
over
my face. I don't know.
Probably.
Maybe. You never know. Does it really work that way? So if I point anywhere, so if I point here?
Yeah.
What about if I point here?
I'm sure it's there.
All right. I won't do it much more. So, anything cool been going on with you?
Just our fun little Nashville trip and strange stuff going on in the house as per the usual.
As per the usual. Yes. So things go missing, they come back, that kind of deal.
That kind of weird stuff.
Referring to, and that happens all the time. It just does. You can't find it anywhere. You look around for 30 minutes. You leave the house, you're frustrated, you're done, you're over it. Come right back in the room, it's laying right there.
And there it is.
Just right there.
Plain sight.
And it's never something like my vitamins. Something I can miss. It's the car keys.
Right, right.
You know, it's something hardcore that you got to have.
Something you absolutely have to have right at that moment.
Yeah. So it is what it is. You know, and there's other weird stuff we've been talking about, and my stuff in particular, I call it my stuff because I still am not comfortable calling it anything else. It's only been, half my life. But sometimes, and I want to know if you guys have this happen to you. If you do, please comment. If you're watching us Paranormal Television, find us on right now. And all these places. Did I do it?
I think you did. It's like magic.
Yeah, it is like magic. I like this. It's like some sense of power. So if you're watching us Paranormal Television, then you need to go find us and do it and type it in and tell us your experience. If, by chance, you are watching us on the tube of you, or you're listening to us on any of those wonderful places that have these really quality grade A shows, you need to comment. You just need let us know. Because I want to know, sometimes I'm thinking of something. I'm thinking of somebody. Then I haven't thought about them in a long time. I don't mean I'm thinking of Stacey and Stacey calls. That would be cheating. I'm thinking of, I don't know, Father Graham that I haven't seen in 2 years. And it's like, I wonder what old Father Graham's touching these days. And all of a sudden, Father Graham pops up. And it'll just be like usually like within the next day. Mm-hmm. And, if I think about a friend from high school, maybe.
Wonder what they're doing.
Within 24 hours sometimes instantly. That's rare. Mm-hmm. But most of the time it's within a cool window where you do think back and you're like, oh, that's weird.
I was just thinking about them.
Yeah, it's really strange. Does that happen to you?
It does happen to me, mostly with family members and stuff, though. Like if I'm thinking of a particular family member, then that family member will get a hold of me. And I think it happens more often with families, when you're with people that you're really close to. You
haven't thought of any family members in a long time, have you?
I haven't. No, not really.
What they call an inside joke.
But that just leads to the question of how is that working? Like, are they calling you because you thought about them? Or are you thinking about them because they're thinking about calling you?
It's another conundrum.
It is.
It's not the Edwards conundrum.
It's not.
That you have to go into the archives for. It's got a definition.
It does.
The episode's called The Edwards Conundrum. Mm-hmm. It's a whole big mess. So you longtime listeners, already. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's really weird. It's happened a lot. I was telling Stacey about it last night, and then I was showing her I'm writing a short story. It's for a little project we may be doing. But so I was writing a little short story, and I started it out, and I'm basing it on Facebook messages, certain ones. And so I was showing her these Facebook messages I get. And as I was showing her, I seen an old friend of a message I hadn't answered because I'm a terrible person and I have...
Well, to be fair, you have a lot of messages. Like, I was surprised. You were like, hang on. And you were just scrolling and scrolling. It was a lot of stuff.
You should see the regular messages.
Yeah, I'm not that active on, apparently.
I do a lot of stuff.
You do. Anyway.
So anyway, and the person I thought about in particular got a hold of me this morning after like a year and a half. It's weird because we were just talking about it.
That's really funny.
And it's really strange because I don't talk to this person very much. So he got a hold of me this morning after just having this discussion, maybe 6 hours before that.
Right.
It's very strange.
That is very strange.
So I'm wondering, could that happen to you guys? Because it is one of the more common paranormal things. Mm-hmm. It's one of those things, you see on the show. It's like,
I could think of people in the car right there.
I mean, that's usually how they sound.
Right.
I don't know if it's a normal thing for people to sound like that.
It's probably the microphone.
You think it is?
Could be.
It really could be. But it could also be something cool. Talking about paranormal. This is another question I have.
Okay.
So, have you noticed the increasing activity? Like, since the start of the dirty word that we don't talk about around these parts.
Since the beginning of the time when people started spending more time at home.
Yeah, that thing. Hashtag Voldemort. We like to keep it positive around these parts. So since old Baldy started up, have you noticed?
I have noticed an increase in the amount that it's being talked about. So I guess that's the same thing as people really reporting.
I know
paranormal stuff.
Our request for investigations has risen, through the roof, really. And people just want to have the discussion in public, if you will. I go out and people come up. They know what I do. And they want to talk about it now. Just out in the open. It's okay.
Yeah, no hushed. No hush. Can I talk out back?
It used to be, well, I know what you do. I don't really believe in all that stuff. You've never had anything happen to you? Ever? Well, no. Except one time. My dog died. He only died once. Yeah. But then a couple days after he died, I felt something humping my leg. Humping my leg just like Bingo used to. So I let it go for a second. Just because I was used to letting Bingo just, Randy Quaid getting it out of his system. It's much better after that. But there was nothing there. Nothing. And I'm like, well, that's a damn experience. Mm-hmm. That's a pretty horrifying experience, but it's an experience.
Right.
Nonetheless. So that means it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's happened. So you've had experiences.
I love those one-timer people.
That's how they are.
Yeah, they're like, oh, I don't believe in ghosts. But this one time,
so my
this
percentages, I wanted to know about percentages. Mm-hmm. And I've got a theory to this.
Okay.
I've got a theory to this.
Good deal.
But I did research.
Okay. Well, while you bring that up, I would just like to mention my grandmother had a dog named Bingo. And he would, he was a big dog. He's a Great Dane. Big dog.
Good size. So through a Temple University site and a paper that's on there, citing a study from Chapman University from 2015, they did a little survey. Well, why do I sound like a good like a hitman all of a sudden? So they did a little survey. Well, now it sounds like I'm making a pizza. All right. So a recent Chapman University survey in 2015 indicated that approximately half of all American adults hold at least one supernatural belief.
Okay.
Well, at least one. Now, this can be defined as you believe in Bigfoot, or you believe in UFOs, or you believe in love.
That's
something that is scientifically proven not to exist.
That's a pretty broad category. That's a lot of different things you could believe in to be counted in that.
Right. It's right.
Yeah.
So you would think that, honestly, more than that would have at least one.
You would think so.
But that's actually a pretty high percentage if you went from now versus 1950. Mm-hmm. And this is not even now. This is 2015 now.
Right.
We all know reality blew up about 3 years ago, and everything changed.
Oh, yeah.
So as of 2015, this is still cool perspective, though. On this percentages, on the believers, 41.4% believe places can be haunted by spirits of deceased humans.
So ghosts. They believe in ghosts.
26.5%. They had some midgets take the survey. So 26.5% believe the living can communicate with the dead.
That's all? Just 26.5%? Silly non-believers. Okay.
I bet you could read a fortune to them, and they would absolutely change their course.
Probably.
It's always those people that they're the villagers, They're going to say no.
Of course.
And I'll get to that in a second. 18.1% believe aliens have visited Earth in modern times.
Well, I bet that percentage has gone up
Oh, yeah.
the last few years.
Well, I mean, when they came out and said,
yeah.
that's not us.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't believe it now.
Right. You're
you
probably
don't
not
believe
gonna.
Oh.
What's that?
What a conundrum for me. You have to believe the government to believe the UFOs.
Uh-oh.
Oh, this is a quandary.
It is. What do you do?
I don't know. It's a paranormal quagmire. This really bothers me. I didn't expect this. Let's get back to the percentages.
Okay.
We'll talk about this one later.
Okay.
Over a bottle of Jack. All right. 18.1%. Wait a second.
I think you just did that one.
Was that deja vu? Or
I think so.
Okay.
Does 18.1% believe in deja vu? What?
18.1% believe in... No. 13.9% believe fortune tellers and psychics can foretell the future. Hey, wait a second.
Isn't that the same thing as the...
Isn't that 26?
Well, no, I guess because the ones that talk to spirits are mediums. And fortune tellers aren't necessarily mediums.
Oh.
They can just do divination.
Oh,
so there is a distinction there.
They're mid. 11.4% believe Bigfoot is a real creature.
That's quite a lot.
It really is.
More than I expected.
Americans are not alone, though. A recent UK poll, for example, found that 52% of Britons believe people have experienced ghosts, and that 38% of people believe they have witnessed alien spacecraft visiting Earth.
I'm surprised more people in England don't believe in ghosts as old as everything is over there.
Well, it's more than here.
And it is more than here.
But wait, I think we're missing something. 38% of people in the UK have witnessed alien spacecraft visiting Earth.
I mean, they've actually seen it.
But that's just the way it's worded.
That's very weird. They claim that they've seen
What are you holding out on us?
alien spacecraft visiting.
They're holding something out. So anyway, I was doing this research.
Right.
And as I was wanting to write a little article about the increase of the paranormal during Voldemort.
Right.
And as I was looking this up, much to my surprise, there's about 100 articles on it.
Wow.
All kinds of places. Big magazines, little magazines, local magazines. Taste of the town type stuff. I'm like, well, that's pretty strange. And it's all like, this is increased, that's increased. You know, the calls have increased. And even things from entertainment places saying, you know, like the love of, and this is like BBC, supernatural television, you know, that's increased.
Absolutely.
They can't get it out enough. You know, BBC started a radio drama and like all kinds of stuff, and Netflix and all these, you know, coming out. And there's a big movement for it, which makes total sense. Because if you go back to times like World War II or any kind of strife out there, you got the spiritualism movement. You know, I think they go one of two places. Like it drives you toward religion or it drives you toward the metaphysical. And it's all really because of the same thing. You're seeing people pass away in a high rate, you know, and your mortality, you know, everything's real.
So you're looking for answers. You're looking for that life after death thing.
You're trying to answer the question.
Yeah.
The question. What's next?
Right.
And we've had those people, you know, so many of our cases, personal cases, have been with people that have lost somebody. And then, you know, most of the people that I've tried to counsel always have lost a friend or a loved one or, you know, something, and they want to talk about it. People think the house is haunted from this or that. So it makes total sense, especially we got a whole generation of children being raised inside.
Right.
You know, so many rules and so many people, friends, teachers, family members that should have been here for another 50 years, you know, just gone. So it's a different world right now.
It is.
And, you know, so we haven't lived in these conditions really on a global level since the world wars. And, you know, some of the pandemic, Spanish flu, things like that. So there's always a big uptick in this stuff.
There is. And you have to think when there's people that are spending more time at home, they're going to start noticing things that are happening there that they maybe didn't notice before.
Right.
Like, because they're there more. They're there during the day now, and they're not normally there.
That's the rub, isn't it? Yeah. So that was one of the questions, and you know, everybody wants to have an answer because people answer things.
Right.
So all the experts, I hate experts. So all the experts that they polled were like, well, you know, there's stress and depression and your mind's running. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but you had that stuff before.
Yeah. But like Stacey said, when I'm home all day, I tend to hear things at the house. When I'm at work all day, guess what don't happen? Don't hear things at the house.
Right.
So, and especially when somebody's there to back you up. Because a lot of times if you're by yourself and you hear something scatter about, you're going to kind of ignore it. And so even on this, when we were talking like 74% or whatever, you know, I think it's more like 95%, but those people they just
don't want to admit it.
They don't want to admit it. And it's so funny, you know, on that percentage wise, just because like we talked about, if it's happened so at some point,
right?
You know, they just need to admit it, but people won't. There's a lot of people that just hold on to that stuff, and they will not, for the life of them or the death, admit it. So anyway, interesting little thing. And again, we want to know from you and you and you, and especially you. Have you noticed an uptick in the paranormal from you or your friends or anyone since this has started? Have you noticed that you have been drawn more toward the supernatural, aliens, UFO, all the stuff we cover, Bigfoot, mystery holes?
Mystery holes.
Especially mystery holes. Baby boom. That's going to be the next thing. New boomers. Yeah, I got to do something. But, anyway, I was having a little bit of fun earlier.
Okay.
And I was Google searching things, but not completing it.
Oh, okay.
So I know you're always like, it's got to have paranormal. It's got to be, ghosts, hauntings, demons, Bigfoot.
Right.
That kind of stuff. Aliens, all that stuff. And I agree.
Okay.
It is the Paranormal Sideshow.
Right.
But it is also a sideshow. And some of the things I found were paranormal to me.
Well, I mean, we do weird.
This is weird.
We have a lot of weird going on.
But it cracked me up.
Okay.
So I found, a couple lists compiled here. And it's Google search terms. Because, you put in there, how do I? And, of course, it completes it. And
with weird stuff.
Predictive text or what. Well, it's not even predictive. It's the most popular.
Right.
That's the problem, is people have looked this stuff up so much that it becomes number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so on. Because the public have looked it up. And it horrified me. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? It horrified me and delighted me.
Okay. So let's
Much
hear
like a good date.
Let's hear what sort of Google predictive stuff has happened.
Yeah. So, who would win in a fight between?
Okay.
People ask that a lot, right? So, it pops up because of you people. And especially, you see that girl over there? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's totally her.
It's her.
It's her. You can always tell. Anyway, who would win in a fight between? So do you want to know what Google came up with, Stacey?
What did Google come up with? And I'm guessing it's not Batman versus Superman. What?
That's the first one.
Is it? Well, I mean, don't you ever wonder who would win between Batman and Superman?
No.
You're
Batman.
Batman guy.
Superman's a douche.
Well, that doesn't mean he wouldn't win a fight.
Yeah, it does. Batman is cold, calculated.
Yeah, but then you have the whole Batman doesn't actually have superpowers.
Hey!
His superpower is he's rich. Just saying. It's a thing. I'm not saying that I don't think Batman would win. I'm just saying it's a question.
I'm not sure how we've lasted this long. Sometimes I wonder what's real. Batman has this secret way to kill every one of the Justice League.
Right.
He does.
So he has knowledge.
Yeah. And knowledge is power.
I mean, just because he knows how to kill people doesn't mean that he can.
Listen, we're not having this discussion.
Okay.
Batman kills Superman.
Anyway,
End of story.
What else?
No, I want you to say it with
Yes.
meaning.
Batman wins. I'm 100% sure of it. Anyway.
Number 2.
Okay.
Who would win in a fight between a taco and a grilled cheese sandwich? Now I want to say that's number 2.
Uh,
Meaning people, I'm not asking you the question.
You don't want to know who would
That's
win?
what comes up.
I know. But now I'm curious.
I don't know if this is a good idea.
Taco would win.
I thought it was all them. It's coming up because you've been on my phone.
Taco would win. Anyway.
The taco's not going to win the night. Who would win in a fight between Hulk and Wolverine?
Oh.
You're going to answer them all, aren't you?
No, I won't.
This one's easy. It's Incredible Hulk.
Hulk, yeah.
I don't care what you're made of. If something rips you apart, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I love Wolverine.
It's hard to slice people with those claws if somebody rips your arm off. You know, I'm just saying.
Who would win in a fight between Batman and Iron Man?
Why has Batman got a thing with everybody?
I guess people wanted another person that didn't really have superpowers.
Oh, that's a good point. He's also just rich. So there you go.
He's Marvel's Batman.
Yeah. He's got a cool flying suit. Is he richer? Is he richer than Bruce Wayne? Who's got more money? Does Bruce Wayne have more money?
Yeah.
How do you know that?
Because it's Bruce Wayne. Because
That's Tony Stark.
He's the world's greatest detective. Tony Stark is a pompous bastard.
Okay. I don't think they pay you for being the world's greatest detective.
One of them was based on Sherlock Holmes.
That doesn't mean he has more money.
It means that he can get whatever he needs.
Okay. Anyway, let's continue. I feel that this is not going to go anywhere.
You know, Batman satisfies former hookers. I just want to point that out.
Okay.
Well, I don't see Tony Stark getting a girl that used to, you know, and there is nothing wrong with sex work.
Tony Stark's married?
Well, not always.
No, but, you know.
And I'm sure she married him because of his...
I'm sorry. Batman would win because he's emotionally unavailable for a relationship. There you go.
Fair.
Gives you anger. Anyway.
All right, anyway. So, why does my husband...
Oh gosh. Is this why does my husband put his clothes next to the laundry basket instead of in it? Is that what it says?
No.
Oh, that was top of the head. I'm just making that up.
You know, this is not a good idea.
Anyway, why does my husband what?
Why does my husband stay with me?
Because he loves me.
Okay. He does. Why does my husband look at other women? Oh, God.
Probably because they're pretty. It would be my guess.
I didn't know that was going to be first.
Same reason why you look at other men. Because they're good looking.
I don't look at that many other men.
Yes, you do.
Well.
Anyway.
I do. Why does my husband blame me for everything?
I have no idea. I don't know their personal lives.
Why does my husband lie? Ha! Can't get me on that one.
Nope. Cannot get you on that one.
I wish you could. If you could, things would be a lot better. Why does my husband fart so much?
That is a question.
It is a question.
That is a question.
But not because me.
No. It's men in general.
She is a...
Uh-oh.
No? Good girl. That's the first one.
What kind of Google search is she is a good girl? What are they looking for?
The most popular.
What are you looking for with that search?
Tom Petty?
No. Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. She's a good girl. Loves a mama. Ugliest man ever in the history of rock and roll. There's never been an uglier person in rock and roll that I could think of that really made Iggy Pop.
That didn't take long.
Tom Petty. Iggy Pop.
It's a conundrum of its own, isn't it?
It is. I'm not sure they're not the same person, just in different genres there. She is a man.
Wow. That has a whole different set of problems there.
Happens. Mm-hmm. She's a maniac. A maniac.
On the floor?
She's dancing like she's
never danced before.
She is a keeper.
Aw, she is.
Unless she's a dead person that keeps control of the other ghost, which is one of my theories that you could find if you get John and Stacey's book on Amazon. Till Death and Beyond. It's Our Journey.
Yes.
It's available on Amazon.
It does have the keeper theory in it.
It does. Why do I?
Uh-oh. Does it say, why do I fart so much?
Why do I have no friends?
Aw. That's sad.
Because you worry about things like why I don't have friends.
And you ask Google instead of people.
Why do I have to pee so much?
Okay, see your doctor. Don't Google that.
That might be why you don't have friends.
Yeah.
They're like, Jimmy came over, but God, Jesus, he pissed like 17 times. We kept having to stop the movie.
Oh, I hate that.
Why do I have gas? Another reason. Every time he peed, I could hear it. Why do I have green poop?
Oh, it's because of something you ate. It's not it's not a bad thing. It's a digestive thing.
But you put it, okay.
Yeah.
I think I might be A.
Really? Okay. What is this?
Any guesses? Oh, Swami?
Vampire? People worried they might be a vampire?
People seriously putting that in there because they're worried that's a real thing.
I mean, have you heard some of these searches?
Yeah, fair.
What's on there?
I think I may be a werewolf.
See? I should have gone for werewolf first.
You would go for a werewolf first, wouldn't you?
Should. No, I wouldn't.
You'd go for the vampire.
I would. Team Edward. Just much classier.
No, it is. It is.
It is much classier.
And you get to live forever.
Exactly.
Well, you get to hang around forever.
Mm-hmm. Get to unlive forever.
I would do it. I'd in a heartbeat. Listen, if you guys are real and you need members.
If you see your membership declining.
We'll do it. We'll also take the chip there, Elon. Still waiting. I think I might be a genius.
Let me Google it. I think if you're a genius, you would know that you're a genius.
I think I may be a sociopath.
Okay. I can see that one.
You think it's the first person? You think it's the same person that put genius
Maybe.
and werewolf?
Probably. I think I may have a problem.
I think I might be a furry.
Oh. Okay. So, I mean, that's probably something you need to Google. That's
the
fairly
people
new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Not that there's
Anything wrong with that, right?
What would a? What would an? Wait, it should be an, right?
Depends what comes after.
Alien.
Oh, yes, it would be Anne.
No, it wasn't when they did it. What would a alien look like?
Probably an alien.
Wouldn't it be cool if Google could like smartly find a picture of you online and have for stuff like that ready made just to show it real quick?
You want Google to be... I want the sarcastic Google, please.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Why don't we like create Bam Google and like just be like Dick's Last Resort of search engines?
Oh, wow.
You ask something and we just shame you and like do funny stuff.
Oh, because people don't have enough problems, I guess. Now your computer is talking bad about you.
Look up the wrong kind of porn. What? Like if you're looking for, hot shirtless men, you put up, fat shirtless men instead only.
Oh, wow.
What would a chair look like if your knees bent the other way?
Wait, what? What kind of weird question
How is
is
that number 2? How is that number 2?
Okay. So if your knees bent the other direction, you wouldn't need a chair because you could just sit on your legs. I don't know. It would be weird. They would look the same. You'd just sit in them backwards.
What would Audrey do?
Who's Audrey? Audrey? Could you answer this for us?
Audrey.
What would you do, Audrey?
What would an engineer use a breadboard for?
No idea what a breadboard is. Or what an engineer would want to do with it.
Audrey knows.
Probably.
Audrey the engineer. Just a couple more here.
Okay.
Why are the...
This could be anything.
Why are the dolphins dying?
I wasn't aware that the dolphins were dying.
Oh, it's number one.
Maybe because the dolphins are old.
Why are the bees dying?
That is a question.
We were aware of that.
Yes. I don't know why the bees were dying.
Why are the oceans salty? Because your mom was in there 10
Oh, no.
Sorry.
That's terrible.
Why are the Kardashians famous?
I have no idea. Because people Google search them.
Probably. Can I eat my...
Oh, gosh. Okay.
Can I eat my cat?
Oh, please don't. Please don't eat your cat.
Number one. Zombie apocalypse.
Can I eat my cat?
I bet it'd be disgusting.
Yeah, cats are... No, it would be tough and horrible.
Can I eat my Himalayan salt lamp? Yes.
I mean, I guess.
Yes, please.
Do you wanna?
Can I eat my period? Oh.
Please don't do that.
Oh. 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 Could God be an alien?
I mean,
Yeah.
I suppose he doesn't live on Earth.
If we're talking definition here.
Yeah, extraterrestrial means not terrestrial. So,
Could God be a woman?
yes.
Could God have created evolution? Well, I mean, if you believe in God and evolution, I dare say.
I feel like you have already got some things warring in your head there.
Could God create another God?
He could. God can do anything. I'm just... Sorry.
Wow. Why can't I own a?
Uh-oh.
So this may or may not make the show. Why can't I own a Canadian?
Well, there's this
Not
thing.
sure there's actually a law there.
You can't own other people.
But Canadians?
No, even Canadians, I think you can't. Technically.
Why can't I own a tank?
I mean, I think you can, can't you?
Why can't I own a Skyline? Why can't I own a red panda?
They're probably endangered. I don't know.
Just specifically.
A red panda. Why would you want a red panda exactly?
Maybe you couldn't get the regular panda. I don't know.
Oh, panda bears are vicious. You don't want a panda bear.
I don't know. But because of some of these, I went a little deeper.
Okay.
Because I go deep. And I did some of these just before airtime here. And I wanted to give you these.
Okay.
Real time.
Okay. Real time.
I think my house is.
Uh-oh.
I think my house is making me sick.
I could see that.
I think my house is bugged.
Could be.
I think my house is sinking. I just pictured somebody sitting in front of the window. It'd just be like... I think my house is haunted by a ghost.
Oh, see, that is a very real problem. You call us.
I think my house is killing me.
Wow.
I don't want to laugh at it. I think my house is shifting. I think my house is infested with mice.
Ew.
Maybe that's what's killing him.
Could be demons.
I think my mom.
Oh.
I think my mom has dementia. That's the number one question. I think my mom is bipolar.
Wow.
I think my mom hates me. Well, probably because you think she has dementia.
And she's bipolar.
I think my mom is jealous of me.
Maybe.
I think my mom is dying. Well, you know what?
Aren't we all?
I think my mom is mentally ill. I think my mom has BPD.
No mom respect there.
I think my dad is the Zodiac killer. I'm done. I'm done. I did not look at these.
Right.
I thought, well, this will be fun. We'll do mom, dad.
I think my parent is a serial killer. Let me Google it.
Yeah, but I'm worried about mom being bipolar. I think my dad's the Zodiac killer.
Well,
see,
it would explain.
This is what happens to dads.
It would explain why the mom acted so erratically.
No, Superman boy, girl. It's the Google search. It messed me up. Anyway, all right. So we've went over some of these before.
Okay.
And I just wanted to, we've got a lot of new listeners. We have a lot of new viewers. Mm-hmm. And of course, we're out here on Paranormal Television. How y'all doing? So I just wanted to hit some again here, and a few different ones than we've talked about before.
Okay.
But I have some ghost stories.
Okay.
Of famous people.
Ooh, celebrity ghost stories.
Yeah.
I like those.
Celebrity ghost stories are always fun.
They are.
Because, if you're inviting it in, it's fun with ghosts. I feel like celebrities are always inviting it in because you're always out there, you're open. Mm-hmm. And it's just one of those things. And, it's like people that talk about never seeing a ghost, right? They, it never happens to them, whatever. It's kind of like sex. Okay. No, seriously, just stay with me here.
Okay.
So, if you're walking down the street and somebody whistles,
right?
You have a choice right then. You just keep walking and ignore it.
Right.
Nothing happens. You get home, you're fine. Or you stop, you look, you grin, and you're probably knocking boots. Good chance.
I'm not sure what world you live in. Anyway.
But it's just like the paranormal.
Right.
Sitting in your lazy boy, you hear a whistle.
Right.
You can ignore it. Mm-hmm. Think, wow, that's strange. Or you go check it out.
That's right.
And when you do, that's when you have the experience. I honestly believe that it's everywhere. And the people that look for it, you just look for it. I mean, you automatically think about it and all this stuff, Yep. So that's why you always stop when someone whistles.
I mean, is that advice?
Well, I mean. Anyway, I think it happens to celebrities a lot.
It does.
Because they're out there.
That's right.
In many ways. Mm-hmm. So, some of the cool ghost stories here. One of my favorites. One of my favorite celebrities. Mm-hmm. She's got a voice of an angel. She's beautiful. So talented. Anyway, Miley Cyrus.
Ah, yes. Yes.
I like this one. We've talked about this one before.
Okay.
But I do like this one. She had an interview with LUK, and Miley revealed that the London flat she was staying in during her 2009 European tour was haunted. It was seriously so terrifying. It used to be an old bakery, and they turned it into an apartment building. And I was having really crazy dreams and really scary things. And one night, my little sister, it sounds crazy to tell you, but she was standing in the shower, and all of a sudden, I hear her scream. I run in there, and the water had somehow flipped to hot, but it wasn't like the water had just changed. The knob had turned, but she hadn't turned it, and it was burning her. She was very red. Before I felt this, I thought I had seen a little boy sitting on the sink watching me take a shower. So I felt really freaked out. I was sitting there, and the next night, and maybe I'm crazy, but I could have sworn I could see this little boy sitting there on the sink kicking his feet. My mom was getting mad that we were looking into it because she thought it was going to scare Noah. So then my aunt, who we hadn't even told about any of this, comes in and she starts freaking out. She's like, I had no idea what happened, but I left the apartment and I came back and all the doors and windows were open.
Oh my goodness.
I locked the apartment. I'm like, tell my mom she doesn't believe that anything's happening in an apartment. So she told her, and I'm like, Mom, see, I'm not making this up. 3 or 4 more things happened after that. I will never, ever stay there again. When we started looking into it, we found out that this guy and his son, this guy who owned the bakery, it was one of these where the dad owns it and then his dad owns it, etc. And there was this older man that owned it and his son lived with him there. And I guess his wife died or something. She had gotten sick. So it was just the son and the dad that lived there in the bakery. And then the dad died and the son took over the bakery. And I thought I was seeing the son. I'm not even kidding.
Wow.
Pretty cool stuff, huh?
That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It does sound like a lot of childlike pranky activity.
Yeah.
Like windows and doors open and turning the water and that kind of thing.
Yeah, but usually though, if you are open to it,
right,
and you do happen to see it, like again, probably sensitive,
Mm-hmm.
and it really makes sense. A lot of times it's people like us. I mean, just
right,
more likely to have it happen to you. You're a bright light to the other side, and when the easier you are for the other side to see, stuff happens to you. Kate Hudson.
Oh, okay.
Kate Hudson has seen ghosts plenty of times. The actress revealed in an extra DVD clip from her 2005 horror movie, The Skeleton Key. I've seen a ghost of a woman with no face.
Oh.
That was really creepy. Another time, my grandmother came to me and I woke up and felt amazing that she was around me. Isn't that
That's
cool?
nice. That's a nice experience, yeah.
And one of my favorite people, Taylor Momsen. Momsen has a photographic proof that ghosts are real.
Oh, wow.
My mom grew up in Devil's Lake, North Dakota.
That sounds really awesome.
It does, don't it?
Yeah.
And her next door neighbor died. She was wealthy, and her belongings got put in a museum. She told people, so I went ghost hunting and I took pictures and talked to her and all this stuff. And there are actually 2 images that I took. One of a hand on a typewriter and one of her entire body in a window.
Oh, wow. That's some good catches.
We need to get a hold of her.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Very awesome. So this next one's really cool
Okay.
because we recently found a song, because I mean, it was before our time as far as when the song was popular, I guess.
Right.
But we recently found a Cher song that we just fell in love with. Dark Lady.
Yeah. It is a very cool song.
It's awesome. Seriously, I'm like all into it. I've been listening to it on repeat. Before we record it,
right. Yeah.
I listened to it like 4 or 5 times. Love that song. Look it up. It's a really good song. Anyway, Cher thinks her late husband, Sonny, who died in 1998, is haunting her till this day. I've got you, babe. I love ghosts. I actually think that Sonny makes a light go on, she said. I have a beautiful chandelier that he makes the light go on when it's impossible. There's no power on. I love ghosts. I prefer ghosts to people.
Okay.
I do like Cher.
I do.
Cher's freaking awesome, man.
I like Cher.
I really do.
I prefer ghosts of people as well.
This next one's a twofer.
Okay.
We always like twofers.
Twofer.
Yeah. Uma Thurman and Ethan Hawke.
Oh, okay.
Thurman and Hawke reportedly sold their upstate New York home because it was haunted. All the houses in Sneeden's Landing are haunted, a neighbor told the New York Daily News. The couple, however, still refuses this was the main reason they moved. And they said Maine. That's
right,
in quotes.
Right. It's not the main reason, but it was a factor.
That's freaking cool, man.
That's crazy.
So here's one for Raja.
Okay.
Emma Stone.
Ah.
She's an Emma Stone kind of girl. Mm-hmm. Okay, this isn't terrifying, but it's terrifyingly sweet. During an appearance on The Late Show with David Letterman in July 2014, Stone revealed the ghost of her late granddaddy often leaves pocket change for her.
Oh, yeah, that's a thing.
There's a long family history with quarters, she said. My grandfather leaves quarters. It's just amazing.
That's very cool. That's a cool experience.
Yeah, it's and of course we know about Kesha.
Yes.
We've chronicled Kesha. I won't
Yeah,
go in that one again.
Yeah, that's long and sordid.
Bella Thorne.
Oh, okay.
I was lying in bed when I saw a shadowy, silvery figure of an old woman creeping across my room.
Oh, that's creepy.
Then it slipped into my DMs. I'm sorry. Then it slipped into my closet. I panicked and ran out of the bed and swung open my closet door, only to see she was in there.
Wow.
But she was gone.
Oh. She went to see if she was in there.
It was worded
She
very
was gone.
strangely.
That was.
I was sure I'd
concerned for a
seen a
second.
ghost. It was really freaky. Yeah, I was like...
I was like super concerned there for just a minute.
Beat the hell out of her. Lucy Liu. Oh my God. I remember this now.
Do you?
She reportedly had sex with a ghost and says it was sheer bliss. Mm-hmm. She told Us Weekly this back in 1999. I felt everything and I climaxed and then he floated away. Isn't that just like a ghost?
Probably never called again.
Megan Fox. We know Megan sees things and hunts things and all that good stuff. But I believe in everything. Fox admitted to MTV News in 2014, I was just in Mexico at my hotel and it was a bedroom, living room, bedroom. I had pre-ordered breakfast at 7:30 and at 7 a.m. I hear them come in with the table. I hear them pouring the coffee. 30 minutes later at 7:30, I went in there. No table, no coffee, no food, no nothing, no one there. Doorbell rings. I open the door. It's room service with my food. Brandy, the nanny, comes out later and says, Why did room service come at 7 when we told them to come at 7:30? So you can't tell me I'm crazy. You're crazy. Because 2 people heard it.
That is crazy.
It's
She's
awesome.
not crazy. The situation's crazy.
No, it's really cool. I like it. Mm-hmm. The so let's end with Hillary Clinton.
Okay.
Seems like a good place to end.
I think so, yes.
So Clinton didn't actually admit this herself.
Of course not.
It was on an email. But she would reportedly talk to the ghost of Eleanor Roosevelt and Mahatma Gandhi while holding the position of First Lady to ask the leaders for advice. The events were recounted in the 1996 book written by Bob Woodward, The Choice, How Bill Clinton Won.
I mean, I understand the Eleanor Roosevelt thing, but Mahatma Gandhi?
Great leader.
Oh, I know, but at the White House? I mean, it said she was first lady. I guess maybe she's just in general.
Contacting.
Oh, I see. Contacting. I gotcha.
Yeah.
I see.
Like, there's
I thought she was just like talking out
no,
loud.
I mean, there's been rumors about her and
Right.
things she's into and not, and you got to think, if you're Hillary Clinton, you're going to have to kind of be completely private about anything like that because
Right.
God knows if it got out,
Yeah.
people might use it against you.
Maybe.
Just saying. And that's for either side, right?
Right.
It doesn't matter. No matter which side of the aisle you're on, these days, man, you can't. I wouldn't do it, even though I'd be the best leader you guys ever had. I'd be very much biblical. It's like you have a dispute, I'm going to cut your kid in half. Whichever one of you is like, no, it's okay.
Right.
Then I'm gonna let the other guy have it. Actually, I'm gonna be like, this son of a bitch was going to actually let me. This crazy dude was going to let me kill this kid. Yeah,
Was that's commitment or something?
That's how sure he was that it was his, man. I mean, that's how mad he was. Who wants to kill a kid? But you spineless, no. It's perspective.
I guess so.
Anyway, pretty cool, huh? Maybe we'll be on the next list there.
Perhaps.
Overnight sensations.
Of course.
Because of you on Paranormal Television and all the wonderful stuff you guys did with the Patreon when you became Patreonic members. Show your patriotism with patreon.com/Paranormal Sideshow. And now it's time for Stacey Edwards and Paranormal News.
So let's get to the news.
Let's.
All right. So this first story is about this crazy, crazy video from Mexico. And I know you know the one I'm talking about.
Oh, God.
Yes. Now, we always cover when there's like strange bird deaths or bird die-offs and things like that. But this thing that happened in Mexico that was caught on a security camera is really, really crazy. So the security...
Did you have to do it behind us?
Sorry. I'll move it in front.
No, it's fine. It just creeps me out.
Don't turn around. Okay. So the security camera footage that recorded this was in the Mexican state of Chihuahua. And it was reported...
Why'd you say Chihuahua like that?
I don't know. That's just the name of the place.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. It was reported by a local Spanish language newspaper. And the cause of the mass death remains unclear. Now, this video went viral, obviously in Mexico, and has been making the rounds here now and hitting all the news sites. There is no explanation for why the birds did this. Now, people have ideas.
Yeah,
they say what they think, but there's no absolutely clear, because you can't see everything that's happening. All you can see is the birds come swooshing down very quickly, and some of them, do fly away, but a lot of them
pull up,
hit the ground.
Oh God, we're not gonna make it, sir.
They were later identified as migratory yellow-headed blackbirds. And, some of the theories are that they, I think the prevalent theory is that they were doing a predatory, avoidance
they were
maneuver.
Running from a hawk.
Yeah,
and they were all, the one, coward bird in the front was like, oh, go, yeah, all.
Fly down, that's what he said.
And that was his idea, was just, damn it all. What if one of them's moody or suicidal? And he's like,
I'm going to end it all.
And I'm taking
follow Bob.
I'm taking them all with us. And, in the back, they're like, I don't know, man. Bob's been kind of, do you think we should be letting Bob take the lead like this? I mean, it's been kind of weird lately, don't you think?
Well, now the birds do maneuvers like that when they are trying to avoid predators. They don't really pay attention to where they're going. No, they do follow the bird that's right in front of them, and you can see
whoa.
You can see videos of them making those weird patterns in the sky. But if you watch the video very closely, it's really odd because it's almost like they're being forcibly shot down towards the ground. They come down so quickly.
They don't look like.
It's so weird.
Well, listen, the migratory thing, right? Mm-hmm. It looks like we'd have a lot more footage of this type thing happening on all these city cams all over the world.
Right.
To me, it's just the fact you don't normally see this. This would be something, if it had happened in the last 12 years, we probably would have seen it and covered it on the show. Now, we've covered tons of bird death.
Right.
Mass die-offs and all this stuff. And for a year or two, it really looked like everything was going to die. All the birds and everything. It was a lot of mass deaths. Mm-hmm. But I've never seen a video like this.
No, it's never been caught on video like this.
It's just creepy.
But it does make...
It's disturbing.
All those ones that we had where they were like, well, the birds just flew into the ground and died when they hit the pavement. And we were always like, why would birds just... whatever happened to these birds, you can see that they've been forced down into the ground. That is how they were killed.
Well,
the weird thing is what caused them to I mean, birds aren't going to naturally fly to the ground, I don't think, even if they're avoiding something.
I mean, it could be a series of unfortunate events because
Could have been.
the Tongan earthquake volcano, when that explosion happened, it messed, with our atmosphere. And they could feel it, right? I mean, they could see that it messed with it and the ionosphere. And that's pretty wild. But we've also had some crazy sun activity, some crazy solar activity.
Right.
Meaning that, because of the weakening shield that we've been having happen, and there's many reasons that could be, a pole reversal is one of the prevalent theories right now.
Right.
That we're kind of going toward a pole reversal, which happens. And if that happens, it weakens leading up to that. And there has been things happening, like, for instance, person we watch daily, I watch daily, he always takes the UV outside, and it's been a 10 at noon when it's normally a 3, right? Something like that.
Right.
And if there was something happen like that, obviously SpaceX had a
weird incident.
weird crash, right?
Right.
And a week later, there was another company launched something, and also it had a weird crash. Now, there's also been speculation that could have been during this time with a weakened shield, all this stuff. Just saying, it could totally be something like that.
Right.
With,
right.
And
Or
also,
just confused.
hell, just with if we do have a weakening, atmosphere or whatever, it'd throw everything off.
It would.
And the whales would be going in the wrong place, which they have been.
They have been.
And
weird stuff being washed up on the beach, which it has been.
Right.
All those things.
There's been a
could
lot
be
of
attributed
signs
to
of
that.
pole reversal.
Absolutely.
So
this is just really strange. The video is very strange, and it's just awesome that somebody actually caught it on video.
yeah.
So sad for the birds.
You know what would be really scary?
What's
is
that?
walking down the street when that happened.
Oh my gosh, I would be the one. I'd be standing right there, and all of a sudden the birds just.
Stacey, I don't think you'd live.
I don't think I would either.
I think you would have a freaking heart attack.
I mean, it's like the Birds movie, only super intense.
I think you wouldn't. I really do. I think that would freak you out so bad.
It would be. I mean, you'd probably get injured.
You'd crap your pants.
You would get injured. I might.
Yeah.
Would you blame me? Would there be judgment?
No.
I didn't think so. All right, so let's move on. Okay, so let's talk about a very strange unidentified object off the coast of Hawaii,
Oh, well.
which caused them to scramble some F-22s.
Yeah,
Check out and see what it was.
We've had that happen before with Hawaii, not that long ago. Remember the one that dove down in the ocean? We never heard any follow-up on that.
We never did. Now, I will say that whenever there's something weird off the coast of Hawaii like that, they always do scramble their F-22s. So the fact that they scrambled the jets is not that unusual. That's what they do because it's a national security thing.
Sir, nothing ever happens here. Can we please go somewhere else? I mean, it's pretty, it's beautiful and all that, but
What are you suggesting, Johnson? Not enough action for you? Want me to put you over on the front lines over to Ukraine? Huh?
I don't know, sir. Just something. Just maybe,
Well, there's a couple lights that just got reported. Let's scramble, boys! I just see them like nothing else ever happened. You're like, every time it's like, because last time I do remember, they scrambled some F-22s or whatever.
Yeah,
it's just like, those guys are just waiting, man. They're just chomping at the bit.
There's a light. I just shot a flare. No, I don't care. It's a light. Let's go.
Yeah. No, we got to make sure. Remember the Nimitz? Got to try too. Remember the Nimitz.
This happened on Monday, February 14th. Valentine's Day. And the jets were scrambled in order to intercept an unmanned balloon that was floating off the coast of the Hawaiian island of Kauai.
Filled with swamp gas.
Well, it was unmanned and unmarked. Like they didn't have a company name on it. No idea where it came from or what it was doing. And it was stationary. Like a lot of the witness reports, and there's a video and stuff, it was stationary in one place for like 40 minutes. Huh. And they have no idea where it came from. Supposedly it's still being investigated.
It was an old, medicine, salesman and a little girl wearing a checkered blue dress and a dog.
Well, here's where it starts getting kind of strange. They were talking
Snake
to
oil.
a Kauai County councilwoman. Her name is Felicia Cowan. And she told the newspaper that she heard 2 loud booms. And she said both were loud enough to shake her house. That's how loud the booms were.
To
And
be fair, it could be meth lab explosions.
I mean, possibly.
I've watched Dog the Bounty Hunter.
But she
It happened
she
every
said that,
episode. Like, I didn't know Hawaii had a problem until I watched that show. It's like every episode, it'd be like, this week we're going down after, we've been hooked on whatever they called it, salad dressing. That's what we call it here. It's a street name. Okay.
all right. So
Ice.
she also said, ice, there you go. She also said that there was some smoke in the sky. So after she heard the 2 loud booms and there was smoke in the sky, so she was like, what was this thing? Did they destroy it? Well, I mean, if they did, what was it? Was there an explosion? Lots of questions. But the Air Force spokesperson told the paper on Thursday that the responding aircraft did not destroy the balloon and that they were actively monitoring the situation and it was under evaluation and that they didn't have anything else to provide at the time. So...
All right. So there was also witnesses that say that they saw that shooting down or whatever.
Right. They saw the smoke in the sky and all that stuff.
I mean, come on, right? Are we going to buy that? Are we going to buy the fact? Are we going to believe the witness or the military statement? The witness saying there was smoke in the sky and I heard 2 big booms. Are you sure you didn't shoot something down?
Booms. And the only other thing that it could possibly be is if the loud booms were sonic booms from the jets. But that would mean that whatever they were looking at, they were trying to follow it.
Or they were just goofing off.
Maybe, but where would the smoke be? I mean, why would there be a bunch of smoke in the sky?
I don't know.
And it's such a mystery. I don't know. And we don't know what it was. I mean, they do know that it was
birds
like
imploded.
Hulk! It was an unmanned, unmarked balloon of some type. And no idea.
If you have any more stories like this from Hawaii or any further information, contact us. Let us know.
Yes.
We'll keep you anonymous.
If you have a meth lab, stop that.
Yeah.
Drugs are no good.
Well, at least don't let dog do your bounty. So,
All right. So let's move on, shall we? Let's move on to a conspiracy.
I love conspiracies.
So this is one we've talked about recently. It's the Havana Syndrome.
Yeah.
Okay. So we just did a story on this recently where they came out and they were doing the report, and they were saying that it wasn't whatever the foreign intelligence. They don't know what it is.
No, it was weird was what it was.
So recently...
the one at Boris and Natasha's outside.
This was covered by 60 Minutes. Mm-hmm. And they had witnesses on there, people that actually were affected and suffered that had not come forward before, had not told their story, and had some really interesting information about stuff that had happened to them. So, and
really?
One of the first people they talked to, her name is Olivia Troy. She is one of the people that works in the White House. She works in Washington, D.C., and she was recently... had been affected, and she's just recently coming out of all the things that happened to her. And she was they were interviewing her, and she was telling her story, and she was talking about how it was this piercing feeling on the side of her head. Like she was just leaving. She was walking to her car.
She worked for the last administration.
Near the West Wing. Yes, it did happen. It's actually happened. I believe they established in this interview that it's been happening over both administrations.
Okay.
So it's not just specific to the last one.
Okay.
But that she was... she worked in the Eisenhower Executive Office building inside the West Wing.
Eisenhower,
and when she was first struck was in 2019. And she said that she was going outside and she just got this piercing feeling on the side of her head. And she got vertigo, immediately got vertigo. She was unsteady. She felt really nauseous. And she just kept remembering thinking, you got to steady yourself so you don't fall down, because she was on the stairs. And she says it was like she couldn't really process. It was like... very like you would have a concussion, like you really couldn't gather your thoughts. And she started, having kind of a panic attack because she had no idea what was happening to her. And she said that it happened when she was in that supposedly protected perimeter area and all the way out past through the Secret Service gate and out to the staff parking south of the White House. Now, they asked her, they said, did you ever experience anything like this again? And she said, not immediately, but about a year later, as she was walking to her car again, that she had a couple more episodes of the same type of thing happening. Now, she didn't report it at the time because at the time she was really concerned about her job. Like, she didn't want it to hurt her career. She didn't want to lose her job. It was not something that she felt comfortable just reporting when that happened. But there are other people that have come forward. There was another gentleman that they talked to named John Bolton, who was a former national security advisor. And he talked about, how people had the disorientation, the ringing in the ears, general inability to function. Now, John Bolton spoke on behalf of another official that didn't want to come forward because it's still a thing. People still don't want to be pointed out as this happening to them. But they did, this official talk to him, about what happened and said that this particular official had to be taken to the emergency room, and that more than a year later, they're still recovering and suffering from headaches and other symptoms, and have been diagnosed with 2 other medical conditions that are believed to have come from this same kind of attack. And they're still an outpatient at the Walter Reed National Military Medical Center. So still being treated. There was another story they talked about by a man named Miles Taylor, who's also speaking for the first time, who was the Deputy Chief of Staff and later the Chief of Staff of the Trump administration for the Department of Homeland Security.
Right.
And he claims that late one night, it's like 2018, he had been working on some sensitive issues at the Department of Homeland Security, and he was in his apartment that was on Capitol Hill, and he woke up to a really strange sound. And he said it was sort of a chirping.
So he actually heard that.
He heard, yeah. It was sort of a chirping sound, sort of what you think a cricket or digital sound, and he didn't know what it was. It was like 3 or 3:30 in the morning. And so he got up and went to the window. He opened his window and looked out, and he said that he saw a white van. And whenever he saw the white van, the brake lights came on, and it pulled off and sped away. And he said the whole episode only lasted about 10 minutes, but the next day, he just felt really off, and he had the whole thing with his head. And then
holy crap.
Yeah. A few weeks later, it happened again. And it turns out that the next time that it happened was right before he was supposed to take a flight to Israel to meet with the Israeli prime minister. And he didn't feel like, he was to the point where he didn't think he could even fly. He felt so bad. Like it was really inhibiting his job at that point. The last one that I wanted to mention, this one I thought was really interesting, was someone named Robin Garfield. And this was from 2019. And he's a Commerce Department official. And he worked in China. And him and his wife and his 2 children were repeatedly hit when they were in China. And so they came down, like his daughter was falling down multiple times a day from being so dizzy. And so they were evacuated, and they were enrolled in the treatment program at the University of Pennsylvania. And while they were being treated in Philadelphia,
his whole family?
Yeah, his whole family. They were hit again. And
while they're being treated?
Yes, he said that his wife catapulted out of bed and sprinted down the hallway because I guess she thought she heard the kids. And she said that an extremely loud and painful sound woke her up. And so they moved and went to a hotel because they thought something was going on in their house. And they're like, so we're going to go to a hotel. But when they were in the hotel, they woke up again to very strange vibrations. And they went and checked the children who were in another room. And the children were both sleeping, but violently shaking in their beds while they were sleeping. And so he went over to his daughter and he put his head down next to her head. And he said he could hear a very distinct sound close to her head, just like a very, sound like water rushing. And so he picked her up and took her and put her in the other room. And he went back to check his son, and he got the same sound right next to his head. Like he would lean down, and right next to his head, there was that weird, like whooshing water sound. So he got both of his kids and his wife, and they just got out of there. And that was the end of his story on this particular interview, but that it's been happening to that whole family over and over.
Jesus Christ.
And then the only thing other that I would say is they showed some comments from some unidentified people that didn't want to be identified, but told their story. And one of them was a man talking about how the severe ear pain started. Like he claimed like you're put a Q-tip too far in your ear and you bump your eardrum. That's kind of how it feels. But one of the injuries he has is he is now legally blind in one eye. And they said, this is from this cause. And they said, yeah, that the doctor said that there's nothing wrong with his eyes. He's legally blind in one eye because of what goes to the eye. Like, it doesn't work. Nothing behind the eye is now working. Yeah, and something in the brain is not doing what it's supposed to. So these are all like, you know how 60 Minutes is. They go really in depth. And a lot of these reports are reports that have not been put out there before.
No, we've been following this story since it started.
Yeah.
Years ago. And we picked up on it right at first. We had a debate going into that episode of that particular show.
Right.
About whether or not to include this. Mm-hmm. I remember this debate, and this always happens. Stacey's job is pretty much, is this paranormal? I'll bring her a story or whatever. Is it enough? Is it weird enough or whatever? Mm-hmm. What if this ends up being this or that? And we both decided wholeheartedly on that one. Mm-hmm. We're like, no, this is weird. This is very strange. At the time, obviously, you got like the diplomats, whatever, in Cuba, and that's why it's the Havana Syndrome. Mm-hmm. And they were having that happen, obviously, in the place. Mm-hmm. And it spoke to me because a few years back, I developed tinnitus, and it never went away, and I still have it, right?
Right.
But I have other stuff, too. Mm-hmm. A lot of other stuff. So it really, I was interested in that, just from a whole CERN type deal, right? And,
right.
And now my head goes there sometimes, like, mm-hmm. firing that up, and it affects certain people, mm-hmm. certain blood type. Yeah, hell, you don't know.
Right.
None of us know. Mm-hmm. And this, as it went on deeper, and it went from Havana to other places, and now with this especially, you get more, especially white van, you get more like things that they've worked on for years and years and years, like, mm-hmm. Psycho, like crazy, make you trip kind of things. Mm-hmm. I mean, like LSD type trip. They, psychological warfare crap that they've been trying to perfect. Or is it even more than that? I mean, the sound coming from around their head like that, mm-hmm. where you can hear the sound. That's freaking as paranormal as it gets. But you've got this white van out there. This is strange.
It's very strange. It definitely falls under the conspiracy because it could go so many different directions.
But it's not really conspiratorial. This is fact. Mm-hmm. Okay? Mm-hmm. This is fact. It's fact. This happened.
Well, I mean, I guess the conspiracy falls in with who's doing it. Like,
right. Yeah, we're not
foreign power. I mean, the problem with the foreign power thing is it's just happened in so many places. Cuba and China and Russia and here and...
There's not foreign power as much as a power that's out there that is controlling and pulling strings and all that crap anyway. We know that, especially if it's happening in two administrations and all this, and they can get away with it enough to be outside of a freaking mm-hmm. White House or an embassy or whatever, right? That's pretty brazen.
That is.
So you would think it would be directional. You would think it would be, it's scary.
So, you believe it's intentional then, right? And it's not like something they're working on and they're accidentally. No, it's intentional. I don't know. You never know if they're working on something and they're accidentally like poisoning people or giving them concussion symptoms and don't know what they're doing.
They would stop.
I guess so.
If they were working on something that mm-hmm. could even possibly do that, the readings around the thing they were working on mm-hmm. would be a hell of a lot higher.
I suppose.
And there'd be a lot of heads exploding on scientists, and unless they all died and no one went to check on the scientists. And
just
they're
trying to give them the benefit of the doubt there.
Has anybody seen Robbie and them? No, they were working on that thing, sir.
It's very top secret. You probably won't see them for months.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry. Shall we move on?
Let's go.
So the next story is about some mystery liquid that falls from the sky over eastern Las Vegas. Mystery liquid.
No.
Yes.
Like underneath a hotel or something?
No. So there's no explanation for this mystery liquid falling from the sky over...
What do you think that is?
A neighborhood.
I don't know.
It's black. So people,
liquids.
the liquid's black. People in one eastern Las Vegas neighborhood near Hollywood Boulevard and Charleston Avenue have been completely perplexed for weeks as mysterious brown or black droplets have fallen on their properties. Now, there's a news story for this, and there's pictures, and they spoke to some of the people there and said that the droplets rained down on houses, cars, RVs, basketball courts, just about everything in the last few weeks. And they have no idea. They're like, it could be grease, it could be oil.
I have to ask. Hey, Zach, what was the last thing that you brought into the museum?
Really? Did we open the box again? What's happening
Because
here?
it's totally Zach Bagans' fault.
You think so?
I mean, look, if all of a sudden there's black freaking rain coming down in Las Vegas, you know where I'm going first?
Right.
Yeah, creepy McCreepy. And I mean that in a loving way.
I don't think he would take offense to that.
I don't either, but yeah, it's either Billy Todd. You got to watch that. The Billy's the sneakier than he lets on. And, so it was one of them. I guarantee it.
Yes.
They've done something. They've opened something. They've got James Dean's little bastard now.
They've got a lot of stuff. It could be that. See, it's oil from the car, from the haunted car.
Holy crap.
There you are. You've solved it. And I haven't even finished reading the story yet.
Like Speed Buggy.
So this particular gentleman that they interviewed contacted the Federal Aviation Administration because he thought maybe something was falling from planes.
Yeah.
And of course, they never did anything. They didn't contact him back. He didn't give him any answers.
FAA, how can I help you? Right. Okay. Yeah. Well, black liquid, you say? I got a guy on the phone says there's some kind of black liquid falling on him. Do we have anybody? No, I would have to. Sir, I'm so sorry. You might need to call the police for this.
It's out of our jurisdiction. Oh, wow.
I mean, would you go?
No, probably not. So what he did was he called this news organization to come and do their, investigative reporting. And
News organization.
KTNV.
The TV channel.
Yes, KTNV.
Medical facility.
And they reached out to the FAA for a potential explanation also, but they did not receive a response. And the Nevada Department of Conservation referred the KTNV request that they sent to the Division of Environmental Protection, and the DEP hadn't responded at the time of the
I don't imagine them being very busy
nobody
at all.
has responded to any requests for, hey, why is it raining black gooey stuff
Because they know.
on this entire neighborhood?
It's happening again, Frank.
Well, it's just this one area.
Gotta wait 'em out.
It's not like all of.
Maybe he's the one playing with the Ouija board then.
Perhaps. Should ask what he's been doing in his basement. He said he can't even cook or barbecue because, it'll get on his food.
We might make it better.
Ew. I mean, he's worried because you don't know if that stuff's toxic. You don't know what it is.
Well, they need to test it.
Exactly. But he can't get anybody out there to do anything.
I'm sure somebody will now.
Could you imagine? Yeah. No, that's the whole point of calling the news.
Yeah.
Could you imagine
Smart.
having to wash your car off all the time? All that nastiness on your car?
Yeah, I can. I lived in Maine. It was a freaking every couple day thing.
Very strange.
It was terrible.
So we're just going to hashtag Zach Bagans' fault.
Yeah. Zach did it. Black Rain Zach.
All right. So let's move on and let's talk about how NASA plans to retire.
Hey, Zach, did you make it rain? I can.
Where's that box? NASA plans on retiring the International Space Station by 2031 by crashing it into the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah, that's a way to go, isn't it?
Yes, spectacular.
After all this work. I've been waiting for this day. It's going to be nice. I'm telling you, Phil. Phil doesn't exist. He's been up there a long time in space. It does stuff to your head.
It does.
Jeff Carter even.
There is actually an article about that. Like
Jeff Carter sent me an article about it.
How your brain gets rewired.
Yeah.
Astronauts' brains do when they're
All
in space
your
too long.
physiology does. I knew that.
Yeah.
But the brain,
I didn't know that.
No.
That's kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that things happened to your body. Did you know that?
I knew that there were physiological effects. The reason I knew that is because I read a study one time where I had twins and they sent one into space and kept one on Earth. And then when he came back, they compared, them physiologically.
Wow. Yeah.
But yeah, it's very strange. I mean, do you think since your brain gets rewired, do you think that could be like a cure for like some mental things? Like just shoot him into space for a few months and when he comes back, he'll be fine.
Your breast would never droop.
That'd be amazing.
Be like, hi,
Nothing would ever droop.
I'm from the moon. You want to come to Earth? No. Fine. Right?
Oh,
Very little
wow.
atmosphere. It's okay.
Okay. So anyway, at the end of 2030, they're going to use it up until the end of 2030. Then they're planning on crashing the space station to a remote part of the Pacific Ocean known as Point Nemo. And one of the reasons that they're doing this is because they believe that a lot of these things that are done in space are going to be done.
Well, the place is nasty is another reason for doing it. I wouldn't go. Like, as much as I want to go to space, if they're like, you can go to the IS, no.
Yeah, a lot about they're going to be done in the private sector. There's a lot of private
It's disgusting.
space travel now. Musk and all the other people. So they feel like the private sector is technically and financially capable of developing and operating things like the International Space Station, and they don't feel like they need to keep theirs up there anymore, which is true. And plus, China,
Elon keeps
who
up
doesn't
shuttle, man. He keeps
Elon is going to have something
he
up
keeps
there.
screwing them, man. It's so funny because they can't do it as fast as him or as good as him.
Right.
I love you, Elon.
Well, as soon as Elon hears the ISS is going away, he's going to have his own space station up there before you know it.
Dude, it's already happened.
Well, China has already launched the first module of its space station, and I believe Russia is going to leave the ISS project in 2025 to do its own space
or
station.
earlier.
Yeah, it's going to do its
depending.
own. So, if there's not going to be a lot of, it's not really an international space station if nobody else internationally is using it. So it's just become, I guess, irrelevant, or it's going to be. So there you go.
They're going to call like Cuba.
I hope that
Hey, you guys want to get in the space race? Really? Yeah, we'll just make a little trade. You got some cigars still? Yeah, absolutely. I got some cigars. What you got? For my friends. Oh, by the way, say hello to my little friends.
Well, this place that they're going to crash it is approximately 3,000 miles off of New Zealand's eastern coast and 2,000 miles north of Antarctica.
But the New Zealanders are out.
And it's estimated that the U.S., Russia, Japan, and European countries have sunk more than 263 pieces of space debris there since 1971. Now, China hasn't, because China can't control where their space debris goes.
Yeah.
It just falls wherever it wants to. So that's where they're planning on crashing it. I hope that, as big as it is, that they're able to do that precisely.
We have no idea why the oceans are warming.
Because we're crashing a bunch of junk in there. Oh, craziness. All right, so let's move on. Now, let's talk about this UFO story while we're talking about space. And this is about a UFO that was supposedly spotted in an old Apollo photo.
Yeah.
Now, this particular photo is decades old. It's from the Apollo 9 mission.
Tyler found this one.
Yeah, I wasn't going to mention which channel. It was on a YouTube channel. I wasn't going to mention the name of the channel, just that it was put up. Now, this is a photo, and here's the original photo. I'm going to show you the original photo, and then I'll put it beside the zoomed-in photo of the UFO. Okay. So this isn't technically a new discovery. This is discovered a while back. It just pops up every few months as new, like somebody sees it and they're like, oh, this is new. And then they put it out and then people are like, oh, that's new. It's not new. That's why I wasn't going to mention the channel. So it's been on websites for a few years. But I wanted to bring it up because, you're going to see it. It's going to say, this is a new discovery. Look at this. And they're not really sure. I think the explanation is that it's just when they digitize the pictures, 'cause since it's such an old picture, that it's just an artifact from that process. I'm not really sure. It is just a very small black triangle, kind of like a shadow.
There's enough good catches.
Yeah, I'm not sure what this
that
is exactly.
catches that are up for question, like this one. I don't know.
Right.
Looking at it, I don't know.
It's funny because in this article it's talking about the where they called it a photographic imperfection from when they were processed digitally back in 2004. It says this would seem to explain how it was, quote, hiding in plain sight. Now, I'm sorry, I don't think that's hiding in plain sight. I couldn't even see, I looked at the original photo and I had to find someone that showed where to zoom in on the photo because it's not that plain. You really have to zoom in to see it.
What do you
It's
think?
crazy. I don't really know. I don't have a lot of context for the photo. Exactly
Well, I mean, it's a NASA photo.
I guess.
So being that it's a NASA photo,
It was supposedly taken by astronauts during a spacewalk.
it wasn't taken by somebody's aunt. I mean,
No, I know.
From where it's taken.
But I don't know what they're pointing at or what time of day it was. I don't know. I mean, I don't personally have a lot of information on it. It does look a little bit like a shadow or a spacecraft. It is a triangle shape, but I mean, it's not compelling enough
so
for me
what
to
do you
go.
guys think? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah. I don't think it's compelling enough to say it's actually a UFO. I don't know. All right. Shall we move on?
We shall.
Okay. So since you did that amazing list of celebrity ghost stories, I got a couple recent ones I want to point out.
Oh,
Yeah. Isn't that amazing?
Look at you.
Did you have any idea I was going to do that? You didn't, did you?
No.
You usually don't. So the first one is Courtney Cox. Now, Courtney Cox is promoting a new series that she's got called Shining Veil. And the series is basically about this dysfunctional family that moves from the big city, sells all their stuff, and moves to this small town into a house in which terrible atrocities have taken place, and they don't realize it. And no one in the family seems to notice except for the mom, whose name is Pat, who's the Courtney Cox character, who's convinced that she's either depressed or possessed. And supposedly the symptoms are very similar. So that's the premise of
almost like a new Hot or Not.
the show.
depressed,
Right?
or possessed. Hi,
So
I'm Caitlin. Am I sad or am I devil?
well, it's like a horror comedy. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
I
I'll
gotcha.
probably check it out. It'll probably be good. But she did say she was speaking to E.T. and was talking about, they asked her if she'd ever actually lived in a haunted location.
Right.
And she said that she did live in a house that was absolutely haunted, and she didn't really believe it at first until one day she was at the door and she was picking up a package. UPS had brought a package. And when the guy was giving her the package, he said that he saw someone standing behind her and there wasn't anybody else. She's like, that's all I needed to hear. I'd heard enough about it. Apparently there was some shadowy figure behind her and the UPS guy pointed it out. So
Oh, Jesus.
freaked her out pretty good. So she's like, my house was haunted.
Ugh.
Very creepy.
Yeah, that's not good at all.
All right. So the other celebrity one we have is Dave Grohl. And of course, he is promoting a new movie, Studio 666. And they were
Looks
doing the
great.
interviews with him. I can't wait to see it. And they were talking about, asking him the standard questions. Have you ever actually lived in a haunted house? That sort of thing. And
Well, I mean, he named a band the Foo Fighters.
I know, but he talks about, and you're going to know this, he talked about Sound City, where Nirvana recorded Nevermind. Now, that was supposedly a haunted studio.
Yes.
Now, he
A lot of haunted
said
studios.
that he never experienced any hauntings there, but a lot of people that worked there had some really crazy stories
Yeah.
about, what would happen after everybody had already gone home. But he said that the Robert Lang studio, and that's where he recorded the first Foo Fighters album in Seattle. He said that he lived just down the street from that studio. And that was the only time that he lived anywhere that had any sort of paranormal activity. He said he lived there for 2 years and that there was absolutely something else in the house. And he wasn't the only one that felt it, but he wouldn't mention it. He wouldn't talk about it. He just felt it and he knew it was there. And then other people would mention it to him. And it got to the point that so many people mentioned it to him that he finally mentioned it to Robert Lang. And he's like, look, something's going on in this house. I'm just down the street from you. And Robert Lang mentioned that there was a ghost in the forest that was between the studio and the house. There was a foresty type area. And that there was absolutely a ghost in the forest of a woman. And Dave Grohl said that she would haunt his house and get in his dreams and everything. He was totally haunted by her while he lived there.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That's
They
really
said
cool.
that was all.
I wonder if he ever wrote a song about it.
Not that I'm aware of.
I mean, I bet there is. I bet there's one that's affected by it.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think so. Maybe.
That'd be the question I would ask.
Or any of your songs?
Did it influence any of your songs, Dave? Well,
Guess
did it?
Don't know. I guess it depends what happened in
You
those
can
dreams.
holler real loud at the concert.
There you go.
Hey, Dave!
I don't think he'll hear us.
You never know. If you flash him while I'm hollering,
I don't know. Maybe.
you never know.
Never know. All right. So I have one last story.
All right.
Okay. And this is about a zoo, a British zoo. And they really wanted to bolster its population of endangered monkeys. The Trentham?
You get some bonobos.
This is the Trentham
They don't care what kind of monkey it is.
monkey, the Trentham Monkey Forest in Stafford, England. And they wanted to help bolster the population of their Barbary macaques.
Oh, I love the macaques.
They're endangered and they wanted them to, breed. So
Is that really a problem with
they,
monkeys?
apparently with these, it might be. I mean, they
Like-
are endangered. So they hired a Marvin Gaye impersonator to go into the enclosure and sing love songs. There's a picture. They said that they thought it would be a creative way to encourage our females to show a little affection to males that might not have been so lucky in love. So supposedly they hired a man named, they didn't say who he was. They just did an experienced Marvin Gaye impersonator, performed selections from the Soul's Legends catalog, including Let's Get It On and Sexual Healing. He said that the zookeepers expect to discover whether the visit had any effect on the monkeys when birthing season arrives in late spring or early summer. So they didn't stick around. They just put that guy in there to sing and kind of left it alone. Could you sing and get our monkeys in the mood, please?
Who's that? I don't know, but let's just screw real quick and he'll leave. Anyway, for my lovely wife, Stacey, I'm John. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. See you next week on the Paranormal Sideshow.
Good night.